Hey everyone, it's Jason. We have another Marvel Legendary unboxing. This is Into the Cosmos, the Deluxe Edition. So what makes this a Deluxe Edition is basically, it's just a bigger box set. Your standard box of this size usually has 100 cards. This one has 200. It has 9 heroes instead of 5. So gave you 4 more heroes. 3 Masterminds instead of 2. It has 2 villain groups. Usually these boxes don't have villain groups. Or sorry, it has 2 villain groups. That's not right. It does not have 2 villain groups. It has 4 villain groups. It has 2 henchmen groups. It usually does not have henchmen groups. 4 schemes, which is correct. And then 3 bystanders, which they may or may not have. This just kind of falls into the realm of the Revelation set. So it seems kind of what they're doing is they're starting to go more this style instead of the big box sets. It doesn't mean they might not do big box sets again. Or maybe it's going to be like once a year we're going to get like a big box set like X-Men or Hulk. And then after that we'll just get like the smaller sets like these, like in between. Or maybe they're only going to do these in between sets instead of doing big box sets anymore. I am not sure. Yeah, so this is the Cosmic set. Into the Cosmos, more cosmic characters. So it has 2 primary teams. We have the Cosmic Avengers and some Guardians of the Galaxies. So I love the fact that they finally did this, because we're getting back into some more of the stuff from Guardians of the Galaxy. So we had the Thor set, Heroes of Asgard, which brought back artifacts. So actually made the Guardian set a little bit better because you have more characters that can use the artifact keywords and links to them. And then this set brings back the Shards. Yes, we have Guardians, some Avengers, and then we have the Shards. So if you haven't watched or played the Guardians of the Galaxy set, which was way back in 2014, so it's been a while, they work in a couple of different ways. So here are the Shards. They're supposed to look like the Infinity Stones. So we have a red, the colors don't make any difference. We have one side, and we have some 2s, 3s, and 5s. Just so you have if you're getting a bunch of different counters, you don't have to have a ton of ones. You can start adding them up. If a player has a shard, it's just sitting in front of you. It doesn't do anything instinctively. But you can spend one of your shards, return it to the supply to gain +1 attack. You can use it immediately, or you can keep them, build them up. You can use as many as you want. So if I have 3 shards, I can spend 0 to 3 of them. I can spend any number I have to gain +1 attack. So if I spend all 3, I can gain 3 attack for that turn. And then it goes away. Or you hang on to them, you can spend them, you gain them on that turn, you can immediately use it to make another attack. You could be like, I defeated this 3 cost villain, and now I got another shard, and you're like, now I have enough shards to turn around and beat the Mastermind or something. You could definitely do something like that. If villains, for some reason, gain the shard, they get +1 attack for each shard it has. So if it's a 3 attack villain and has 2 shards, it's now a 5 attack. If you defeat a villain, you gain 1 shard that it has, all the rest go away. So if it has 5 shards on it, you only get to keep 1 of them regardless. But sometimes it's, if villains have a shard, or if they have an ability that gives you a shard, it sometimes just makes sense. Spend a shard to take them out, and you get your shard back. So, in the end, you're not up anything, but you're not down either. If a villain escapes, the Mastermind gains one of their shards instead. If Masterminds have it, they gain +1, just like the villains. If you defeat a Mastermind, you take 1, and the rest go away. Then you do the fight effect on the Mastermind, which may give it additional shards. So if you beat a Mastermind that has an attack of 10, but it has 5 shards, it's 15. You defeat him, you take 1 shard, all the rest go away, and then he goes back and he reads his thing. So whatever it says, then he may get more shards back on him, but then you don't get access to those new shards. What is new with this one is the burning of shards, the burn shards. So I have an ability that says, like, burn 2 shards, draw 2 cards. This means once during your turn, you may spend that many shards to do the listed effect. Like everything else, you don't have to do it immediately, you can do it later in the turn. So I can play the card, maybe gain a shard during the turn, or if I had used a shard for something else, so I can't use it now, or who knows. The difference is you don't get the +1. So you can basically either spend it to gain the +1 attack, or burn it for any number to do a special effect. So you have options there, which is kind of nice. Then we have Danger Sense, which comes back from Spider-Man Homecoming. That's definitely a cool thing they brought, because a lot of people skipped the Spider-Man Homecoming because it had movie pictures instead of animation drawings, I guess. Right here is supposed to represent how cosmic heroes possess a cosmic awareness. So I like they call it Danger Sense and now it's Spidey Sense that way. So that's sort of the downside of they calling the one ability Wall Crawl, because it really kind of like limited who had that ability, because that could be someone that could either stick to walls like Spider-Man, or who maybe had an ability to like climb up walls easy, like the Beast. But yeah, so this kind of works. So some cards say something like Danger Sense 2. This means reveal the top 2 cards of the villain deck. You get +1 for each villain you revealed. Put all the cards back on top in any order. Danger Sense can go 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., revealing more cards. Several Danger Sense cards say they have additional effects when you reveal certain cards. Sometimes you can use one Danger Sense to put a particular card on top of the villain deck, then use a different Danger Sense to benefit from it. Danger Sense is also a good way to delay nasty Steam Twists, Master Strike, powerful villains. So basically, if you have Danger Sense of 3, you could look through the deck, oh crap, there's a Steam Twist in here, make that the 3rd card. Now you know you have 3 more turns before that comes up. But essentially, if you could keep playing Danger Sense, you could keep moving that card back down. It's eventually going to come up. But it's kind of a neat thing. It lets you work on some different stuff. So, lets you plan. Danger Sense on villains. Some of the villains can have Danger Sense, which say like Ambush Danger Sense 2, helping all Black Order villains and the Mastermind. So you do this to reveal the top card of the villain deck, and then rearrange them like normal Danger Sense. However, the +1 bonus for each villain goes to all the Black Order villains in the city and the Mastermind instead of being to the player. So instead of you gaining an extra 1 attack because you played a card, the villains, that villain, as well as any other ones listed on its card, are going to gain it for till the end of the turn. But you can still rearrange the cards however you want. Then we have another new ability, Celestial Boons. These are from the Celestials, so I doubt it's going to appear anywhere else, unfortunately. But it's a permanent bonus that helps you for the rest of the game, as long as it's in your victory pile. You can use multiple Celestial, even the same ones. It's just a little permanent effect, like Celestial Boon, like, you gain, like, +1 attack. So it kind of works like an artifact, in a sense, except you don't have to have the card in front of you. It's a permanent effect, unless for some reason they get removed from your victory pile. I'm going to skip Contestant Champions for a moment. We're going to look at Cosmic Threat, because we've seen this one before. This is from Fantastic Four. Villains with this have incredibly high attack values, and special keywords. So if an enemy has Cosmic Threat range, it means once per turn for each range card revealed, it gets -3. So if he has 10 attack and revealed 2, he gets -6. And so on. If he has If you're 4 range cards, it is minus 12, so he has 0 attack, and you can fight him without even spending any attack. And then other ones will say they have 2 different ones. So you can choose one or the other, but can't do both. If you try and fight a Mastermind with Cosmic Threat a second time in the same turn, they'll return to its full attack. So you can't, like, hit him for, like, play a card and do this, and it's like, okay, I beat him. And then, like, now I get to draw 3 more cards, and you have to start over. You can't count those other cards you played that turn versus that. You can use the same range card to reduce the attack for different Cosmic Threat villains on one turn. So, you can use it, so if you play a range card, it'll reduce all ranged Cosmic Threat cards down by 2. You just can't use it twice on the same Mastermind. Alright, so that's basically how that works. Now, Contestant Champions are a little bit trickier to go through. So, these are for the Elders of the Universe. And they're going to have, it says, Ambush, Contest of Champion, Strength. So, each player, in turn, reveals a single card, either from their hand, that they play this turn, or the top of their deck, and announces their contest score, which is the printed cost. And that's doubled if it matches that symbol. So if they play a strength card, so if they play a 1 card, it's a 2. If they play a 4 cost card, it is now 8. You must choose carefully whether to use the best score you have from your hand, or by taking the risk of trying the top of your deck. After all players have announced their score, then Evil tries to win the contest by revealing the top 2 cards of the hero deck. The Evil uses whichever card grants the highest, taking and doubling. Again, this is printed cost to double if it matches it. Then put both the cards on the bottom of the hero deck. So yeah, you're basically trying to pick whatever your highest card is. If you can double it, even better. And then the bad guy flips over and tries to see if they can beat you. Whichever scores the highest or tied for the highest wins, everyone else loses. So, I'm actually explaining how that works then with different numbers. Your card list outcome for winning and losing heroes. A few cards reveal a hero card to use its color for the contest. This and great contests are multicolored, such as Contest of Champions, Tech, Range. In this case, it'll include any cards that have Tech or Range. Will match a card that is both, won't be quadrupled though. Some contests say that Evil reveals 4 or 6 cards from the deck. It's still scoring the highest card. So it's an interesting ability. It sounds complicated, but once you get into using it, it's probably not that bad. Alright, what deck do we want to go with first? I was trying to see. Let's start with this one. This one has good old Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel, but they have him as Marvel, so we don't get him confused with Captain Marvel Carol Danvers. Alright. So we have the original Captain Marvel, Marvel, as his Kree name is. So he has Cosmic Awareness, he's an Avenger. If you would get attack from Danger Sense this turn, gain that many shards instead. Danger Sense 1. So you play it, you flip over a card, you might potentially get some. If you play a range card, same effect with Danger Sense 2. It's a pretty neat 2-cost card there. So that's just common. He's got his Kree Genetics. If you would gain any shards this turn, draw a card. The humans who say have never realized he came from another world. So it's kind of a Marie Hill, a 2-3, but you can potentially draw a card. Channel the Negabands. Reveal the top card of your deck. If it costs 1 or more, gain a shard. If it costs 0, KO it. New way to get rid of some cards out of your deck. And this isn't the first Captain Marvel we've seen. He's also been in the Hulk set with Rick Jones. One of his transform cards. Protector of the Universe. Danger Sense 4. If you gain any shards this turn before playing this card, Danger Sense 7 instead. And again, with Danger Sense is a reveal top card of the deck, or villain deck, or top number of cards. You get +1 for each villain. So let's see, if you play this card, you have 3 attack, which isn't super great for a 7 cost, but you're going to reveal 4 cards. So you could potentially gain up to 4 more attack, which would make it a 7 for 7. If you can do Danger Sense 7, you could potentially have 10 attack. Plus, you also get to rearrange all the cards in the deck. So yeah, Captain Marvel seems pretty. He's a Danger Sense character, which makes sense with his cosmic. There's a couple of shards. So he's interesting. I have to see how he plays. That's the end all be all of all these characters. Yeah, let's actually see how they play. Now we have Quasar. Manipulate Gravitons. Covert card. 2/3. If you play another Covert, when you recruit this hero from the HQ, gain a shard. Or whenever you recruit a hero from the HQ this turn, gain a shard. It's alright. 2 for 3 is a Maria Hill, so that's nothing. Any bonus after that is always good. The fact is you have to play a Covert card and recruit a hero to gain 1 shard. It's a little questy, I guess, would be the word. We have Cosmic Champion. You burn a shard, you gain 3 attack. No matter what exotic energy construct you create, they're probably going to hurt. You got his Quantum Bands. Kind of like the Nega Bands, but different. Kind of, but different. That's a great description. I'm not as familiar with all these characters. Gain a shard, and you can burn 2 shards. You may KO a card from your hand or discard pile. 1 for 5. Huh. I mean, you gain a shard, but still, it's, And then here he's got a darker outfit on. This is the Star brand. Some of these cards take place like, because he has in that one too, like the black and red outfit versus he has like a blue and red, kind of more superhero. This one's kind of like a little bit darker. Some of these take place after the Annihilation, storyline, the Annihilation Conquest. Bunch of bad stuff happening in space. So whenever you defeat a villain or Mastermind, it's turn, gain a shard. Burn 4 shards, you gain +7 attack. So again, like, you could play this card, gain your 4 attack. And then, you could potentially defeat a villain or a Mastermind and gain a shard. And then, hey, if that gives you your 4th shard, you can burn your 4 shards to gain the additional 7 attack. So it's actually kind of neat how that works. So he looks like he's all about getting some shards, burning some shards for extra attack. So he's kind of like explosive power. He comes out, builds up a bit with getting some shards, and then boom, hits you. Alright. We have Adam Warlock, also known as him, who may or may not appear in one of the upcoming Marvel movies. Transmute Matter. Gain a shard. Burn 2 shards, half the cost of a hero in the HQ. Ooh, I like that. If you play it, you're already halfway there to be able to do it. Regenerative Cocoon. If you play this card, you must discard a card. When you draw a new hand of cards at your turn, draw 2 extra cards. So far, he doesn't gain any bonuses though. No attack or recruit. No attack or recruit on this card. Interesting way to play a character. Soul Blast, because he's usually the wielder of the Soul Stone. So we gain 2 shards, and you can burn 4 to defeat a villain if you play another covert, which is Transmute Matter's covert, Soul Blaster covert. Interesting. And then Manifest the Soul Gem. It's a little bit darker costume for him. It's not what I'm used to seeing. We have gain 4 shards. You play 2 other Avengers. Burn 8 shards, defeat the Mastermind once. Then reveal the top card of the villain deck. If there's a Master Strike and Warlock is corrupt by power, at the start of your next turn, add Magus Mastermind to the game with 1 random tactic, if he has never been in this game. Just kind of cool. It's sort of like the Phoenix, but it doesn't just end the game. But if you play this with some of the other cards, like Captain Marvel, as you've seen, with lots of danger sense, you can actually set this up so it doesn't happen. Because you just set it up. Okay, make sure the top card's not that. Now Adam can go through and do it. In this set, having to play 2 Avenger cards, probably pretty easy. Because it's almost all Avengers except for a couple. Burning 8 shards wouldn't be too hard to do. Even just playing his other cards. Gain a shard. Draw 2 cards. Gain another shard. 2 shards there. Burning 8 shards. It's a lot to ask for an ability. It's a free defeat the Mastermind, so that's actually pretty cool. You can defeat anyone once. Thanos, Galactus, some of the ones from this set who we're not going to talk about just yet. Magus, which we know of because we've seen him. You can defeat your evil self for free once. We now have Moondragon. Drax's daughter in the comic books. Don't know if they'll have any connection if they put her in the movies or not. His Peaceful Meditation. When you draw a new hand of cards at the end of your turn, if you didn't fight anything, draw an extra card. Interesting. Just if you didn't fight anything. Otherwise, it's 2-3 to Maria Hill, Shield Officer. It's a nice little bonus, especially early on in the game. Psionic Warning, Danger Sense 2. If you play an instant, reveal any Steam Twist to gain a shard. It's 1 attack. 1 attack, but having to rely on stuff, it's kind of my issue, right? I mean, Danger Sense is definitely a neat word. You're going to potentially reveal more villains, at least 3/4 of the time, I would say. So Psychokinetic Blast. If you play an Avenger, reveal at least 2 Master Strikes. You may shuffle the villain deck. Alright, so that's a lot harder to make sure you reveal 2 Master. This is basically playing around with the Master Strike or Danger Sense. We have a bunch of characters that have it, and you're restacking the deck, and you plan this perfect. This could be really good, but again, if you reveal 2 Master Strikes of them 4, it means you're only getting 2 attacks. You just paid 6 costs for a 3 attack card, which is not that good. And if you're shuffling it, now you have no idea where those Master Strikes are. They could actually get moved to the top of the deck by accident. And then our ultimate, Lunar Dragon Form. Danger Sense 1, so it's not very good at sensing things, but there are other cards later. If you reveal your Steam Twist, you gain +3 attack, and you may shuffle the villain deck. I can kind of see the advantage of these Danger Senses for that reason, because you could keep moving some stuff back, moving some stuff back, and eventually you're like, crap, like, I don't have enough Danger Sense to keep getting deep enough into the deck with 2s and 3s to get these Master Strike stuff all the way, so you can play these cards to shuffle the deck. This particular set, where there's a lot of characters that have Danger Sense, great. If she's the only one, like you only play her by herself, if she's the only character that has Danger Sense, I don't think it's going to be nearly as effective. Here we have Nova. So this is our second Nova in the game. This one is Richard Ryder, who everyone's been waiting for. He's the original Nova from the New Warriors. Versus the champion one we got, which is Sam Alexander. So we have Draw from the World Mind. All the wisdom of Xandar in one slightly annoying helmet. So you get draw a card for 2, not bad. You play attack, you get +1 or 1 attack or 1 recruit. So interesting, you get some options. Electromagnetic Wave. Choose one, you get +2 recruit or gain a shard. You play a ranged card, do both. Noble Court values versatility even more than raw power. Yeah, I like that these cards are giving you some options. I love options. Oh, we got another card that doesn't have any cost on or any bonuses. Declare Galactic Threat. A villain gains Cosmic Threat tech this turn. It loses any previous comic threat and penalties that it had. If there are no villains in the city, instead draw 2 cards. Interesting. Especially because playing this card automatically drops them by 2. Interesting. That's a neat card. And then its ultimate is Mobilize the Nova Core. Choose one, draw 3 cards, or a Mastermind gains Cosmic Threat range. Huh. I like that. I like getting to, force guys to gain Cosmic Threat. Of your choice. I mean, kind of an option. He's all ranged in tech, so he's gonna definitely benefit from those. So that's actually pretty neat. That could lead to some interesting combos. Alright, who do we have up next? Oh, looks like that might have been the end of the Avengers? Because we're getting into some Guardians of the Galaxy. So here we have Yangu. As you will notice, this is not the Yangu everyone recognizes from the movie. This is the original Yangu from the original Guardians of the Galaxy. Also, if I can get that to focus better. Later known as Guardians 3000. They're my favorite Guardians of the Galaxy. I love the original ones. Here we go. It just wasn't voted. I mean, this is the new movie one's based pretty much directly off him. They just kind of more made him like a Han Solo-ish type character versus this warrior. Guardian you see has the galactic badge there, which is like a stars and stripes. So we have, which just gives me hope that they'll eventually release the other Guardians. You can get like Charlie 27 or Nikki or and you've seen some of the other ones in the Guardian of the Galaxy 2 movie with Sylvester Stallone. He was one of them. He might have been. I forgot what character he played, but there was like Mark X, there's a crystal guy, there was the dragon, like red dragon serpent that looked like Doctor Strange. Yeah, lots of cool characters. Anywho, let's get into Yangu. So gain a shard just for 2, nice. Burn any number of shards to beat a villain whose printed VP is equal to the number of shards you burned. Awesome. So you can only a villain, can't take out a mastermind, but you can burn a bunch of stuff to waste some of the smaller guys quick. Here we have Interstellar Hunter, Danger Sense 2. If this reveals a Master Strike, draw a card. I don't really like the idea of revealing a Master Strike. Scheme quests, okay, because there can be various number of scheme quests in the game. Usually it's at least 5, but it can usually be 10 or higher. But there's only 5 Master Strikes, so like early in the game this might be really helpful, but if you get later in the game and 3 strikes have been played, and you're down to 2, this card kind of becomes a lot less useful. Anticipate their movements. Danger Sense 3. You play a Guardian, you may do the fight effect of a henchman villain revealed this way. And don't defeat it. Interesting. I mean, most henchmen effects are tailing something, but you could use it to get rid of like one of these guys if they're no longer helpful anymore. So, and finally we have Space Pirate. Choose one. Gain a hero from HQ for free. Wow, just any hero. Or gain a shard for each empty space in the city. If you played 3 other Guardians, do both. That is crazy. Obviously a free hero. That could be anything. You could get lucky and get like a 7 or 8 cost guy, an ultimate card. Or you could get screwed and get like a 2-3 cost card. So it's a gamble, but it's definitely cool. It's definitely versatile. Or gain a shard for each empty city space, which again, depending on how well you're playing or what you're playing against, that could be anywhere from 0 to 5. And you could potentially get both. That's pretty cool. I like it. It's different. I like it. Alright. Who is our next Guardian? Probably one less people are familiar with. Phala Vel. Phala carved her destiny for far beyond her origins as a cosmically created daughter of Marvel, which is why she has the same last name. And she hangs out with Moondragon a lot. So really, Moondragon could have went either direction. They could have had her been a Guardian or an Avenger. But I think canonically she's been an Avenger more often than she's been a Guardian. This would have been like a perfect set to almost introduce like dual team types. But I can see where that would be confusing or make some cards really broken. So I get why they don't. Says Channel Cosmic Power, gain a shard. There's a lot of cards with 2 costs to gain a shard. Playing instant, you get a draw card. Pretty simple. Follows up with another instant card which will help out. Quantum Sword. The molecules of the Quantum Sword can be in 2 places at the same time, conveniently cutting off 2 arms at once. That's crazy. If you have at least 4 shards, you get +2 attack. So she gains bonuses just for hanging on to shards and not burning them. So it kind of gets you a risk on what you want to do. And then now she has kind of more of a evil apocalyptic outfit. Martyr. If any player would gain a wound, you may discard this card to gain 2 shards instead. Interesting. Not used to seeing a rare card, one of the uncommons or whatever, the 2nd level, for a 3 cost. That doesn't happen often. And then Avatar of Oblivion. You may tail a card from your hand or discard pile. If you do, gain 2 shards. She likes to collect them. If she has at least 8, she has +3. So she's kind of different than all the rest of the characters. Everyone else has a bonus for their shards to try and burn them. Or gaining a bonus for getting a shard this turn. Her, on the other hand, she's like, give me a shard and I'll gain bonuses if I just kind of hang on to this power and not use it. So it's kind of interesting. Alright, we have, looks like 2 characters to go. We have another Guardian. We have Nebula. I don't know if she's ever really been a Guardian per se in the comic books. I know she became one in the movies. But I could also see her being more on friendly terms with the Guardians more often than she's not. Kind of like, I help you out because it helps me out. So she has Ruthless Cyborg. 2 for 3. Our shield officer, Maria Hill. When you take any number of shards from a villain, mastermind, or other player that you... Whenever you take any, You may KO one card. You may KO one card in your discard. One of your cards or a card for your discard pile. Okay, so she steals other people's stuff. She just, so without taking a shard or playing any other cards by itself, this is just a 2 for 3, which is a generic. But she can potentially KO stuff and get her deck better and get a shard out of it. So here we go. She goes Galactic Rogue. A villain gains a shard. You played an instant and attack. You can take a shard from a villain. Or you can just beat them and get them. Her moments of generosity were often just a setup for a heist to follow. And then, ooh, here she's fighting Proxima Midnight. Illusion Device, Tech. Choose another player unless that player reveals a covert hero. Take one of their shards or rescue, in quotes, a bystander from their victory pile. She's kind of a villain. And then finally she has Daring Raid. So we have 5 attack, no recruit. Whenever you take any number of shards from a villain, a mastermind, or another player this turn, you get +3 stars. So I get the villain and I get the mastermind if you assume that when you beat them you gain them. I'm not sure this other player thing, because she doesn't have any cards that let you do that. Takes one from a villain, or you beat them, I would assume you take. Okay, choose another player. Okay, unless they reveal when you take one of their shards. Okay, I guess I overread that. I read it, but I didn't. Interesting. She's kind of like, I can see her, she plays like the villain aspect, like the villain game, where you're kind of like maybe betraying or seeming like you're helping out you're not being super helpful, but she has some good cards. One thing I don't like about this is, other than this one where she's kind of fighting, her other cards are just, the art's not bad. It's not bad art per se. It's just she's not doing anything. She's not exciting. Like, there she's just kind of standing there. The background could be whatever. There she's just sitting there. She's kind of kneeling there. I don't get a sense of who Nebula is from looking at these cards. To say, like, kind of like her, I guess, Favela is not terribly any different. Kind of like an improvement, but you can kind of see, they have action-y shots. There's that cool electromagnetic, there's with that. There she's meditating, you can see meditating. Using her powers. Like, you actually see him doing some different stuff. She's shooting out an energy blast. He's doing some transmuting. You kind of get the idea that these guys are actually doing some of their attacks on some of these, and really, Nebula, she's kind of just standing there in all her pictures. I don't know. I guess I'm just looking at that, I'm not that impressed. And our last character is Ronan the Accuser, who has no team. He gets to join the likes of Deadpool and like 4 other characters that don't have any. Archon, the Magnificent. Only 2 I can think of off the top of my head, but there's like 4 or 5 characters that don't have teams. Howard the Duck, Man-Thing, might be on that list. He has the universal weapon, which is his hammer. His Cosmic Rod can produce almost anything he can imagine. Gain a shard, burn 2 to draw 2 cards. He's a little bit more expensive than some of the other characters. Here you got some Kree, Rally the Kree Warriors. Whenever you rescue a bystander this turn, gain a shard, rescue a bystander. His leadership inspires Kree onlookers to become his cosmic warriors. And like a 2 for 4. He's a little bit more expensive character. Accuse enemies of the Empire. Alright, so here we get to this Contestant Champion's ability. On a hero, actually. So Contestant Champions deck. Each player that wins rescues a bystander. If the Mastermind wins, you capture the bystander. So you can force this by playing, and then you'll have to reveal a card from your hand that you played already or from the top of your deck for the highest cost. If it's attacked, it's doubled. And then the opponent Mastermind reveals a card from the top of the deck. I think it's at least 2 cards. 1 or 2 cards, probably 2 at the bare minimum. And he picks the highest of the 2. So he does have a couple of tech cards. So he has a good chance of drawing his own cards. Interesting to be on there. And then finally we have Seek the Infinity Gems. And here has Contestant Champions with a Strength card. Each other player that loses must gain a shard. Each player that wins gains 2 shards. If the Mastermind wins, a villain gains 2 shards. So that's actually not even too bad for helping out your team. If you lose, you gain a shard. You win, you gain 2 shards. As long as the Mastermind doesn't win. Otherwise, some other guy gets 2 shards. And this is a tech card, actually. That's a strength card that does attack. It's actually kind of nice, because then you're not wasting your card. You're not getting your card for it. It's still being in your hand. Alright, so that's Ronan. He's interesting. Plays around some shards and Contest of Champions. Kinda neat. Alright, and then we have a stack yet. We're gonna do the second deck. Okay. Alright. They have these sorted all kinda weird. Villains, 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 villains. I'm trying to sort out the villains. Sorry for the moment. Card to give you something to look at, I guess. I was trying to sort out the 4 villain piles and the henchmen from the Masterminds, because I always like to show the Masterminds with their henchmen. Alright, sorry. I mean, I could have done all of them in a row, but let's first look at some henchmen. Just some generic guys. We're going to get some new ones. So we have Sidera, Maris, the Bridge Builders. And I do not know who these guys are. Again, I'm not as familiar with Marvel Cosmic. But they have Ambush. After this enters the city, if there's a villain on the bridge, that villain and this henchman each gain a shard. Otherwise, move this onto the bridge. So they go right to the bridge unless it's full. Then they hang out some shards. Fight, KO one of your heroes. We got all 10 of those, and that's a 3 cost, which is standard henchmen. Our other henchmen are the Universal Church of Truth. Which these guys only have a 2 cost, but each henchman villain in the city gains a shard. If Magus is the Mastermind, 1 Cosmic Wraith also gets a shard. We'll see what that means in a moment. Fight, burn 2 shards to KO one of your heroes. So, it is a 2, but it becomes a 3 automatically because you gained a shard. But you could use someone like Nebula to potentially steal that shard off of him. Another thing to note on here is when you fight the Sidera Maris, you have to KO one of your heroes. If you fight the Universal Church of Truth, you can KO one of your heroes, but you have to burn 2 shards. And so it's an optional effect. So it's kind of interesting to see, like, one's optional, one's not. But if you beat this guy, you're going to gain 1 shard automatically. Alright, let's see what Magus does. Magus. So we already knew he's a Mastermind from the Adam Warlock card, and now because of the Universal Church of Truth, so he gets +1 for each villain in the city that has any shards. So he can definitely grow big every time, plus his henchmen there, because he always leads the Universal Church of Truth, will automatically come in with 1. Master Strike. If there are already any villains with shards in the city, each player gains a wound. Then the strike enters the city as a cosmic wraith with 4 attack with 4 VP, then put a shard on each villain in the city. So you need a Master Strike. There are already any villains with shards in the city, each player gains a wound. Okay, so when this comes in, you have to add this guy in there, so there's at least going to be for sure 1 villain in there with 1 shard, so it'll make him a 10. But if it's full, he gains 5, which would make him up to 14. That's not right. 9. Yeah, that's right. 14. Yeah, so he can get powerful really quick. What's his epic side do? He's up to 11. He gets +2 for each villain in the city. Oh boy, and then the Cosmic Wraith has 6, and it's worth 6. If there are any villains in the city, each player gains a wound to the top of their deck. Oh boy, that's badass. I don't know if I'm ever gonna fight them epic versions. Seize the Cosmic Power. Fight. Magus takes a shard from each villain in the city, then the villain with the highest attack gains another shard. So great, so now he becomes super powerful that way. He also gets powered up by giving them a shard. The Dark Side of Adam Warlock. Magus gains a shard. Then if Magus takes a shard from each other player, does not reveal a covert hero. Resurrected as the child of Magus. Until the start of your next turn, Magus can only be fought with stars instead of attack. And Conjure the Shade of Thanos. Rescue 4 Bystanders. This tactic enters the city as a villain. The villain would be the Shade of Thanos. Then each villain in the city gains a shard. You win when the Mastermind has no more tactics stacked under it. Oh, okay, saying that you don't have to beat this tactic to win the game. Alright, so actually, he gains shards. People that have shards give him power. Turns around and gives them more power. Oh boy. Let's look at the next set of villains. We have the Celestials. We have Damian the Gatherer, who's a 10 attack. That's pretty powerful. But yeah, it's a cosmic threat of strength or instinct. So again, you pick one of those two, and then you can -2 attack for each card you play of that type. Gamion grants you a celestial boon. For the rest of the game, whenever you fight a villain, you rescue a bystander. Escape 3 villains in the city, each capture a bystander. You get 2 of him. We have Nizar the Calculator, cosmic threat, covert or tech. His celestial boon is for the rest of the game. When it's your turn, the Mastermind gets minus attack equal to the 5th of its printed attack. Round down. I don't like that. 5th. That's some crazy math, calculator. The Mastermind gains charge equal to a 5th of its printed attack rounded down. That little guy in there, so you can see how small he is in comparison. Ixitar the Exterminator, cosmic threat, tech, or range. Celestial boon. For the rest of the game, once during each of your turns, you may fight a henchman from your victory pile, spend the normal attack, do the henchman's fight effect, KO it, and rescue a bystander. KO 5 henchmen from the villain deck, then shuffle it. Oh boy, because that could definitely make your deck harder, so you're going to fight more regular villains. Arisium the Judge, range, or strength, his boon. For the rest of the game, once during each of your turns, you may put a card from the HQ on the bottom of the hero deck. Interesting. Escape. After the normal escape KO, put a hero that costs 5 or more from the HQ on the bottom of the hero deck. And then we got Tiamat, the Dreaming Celestial. Instant or covert. Grants you a boon. Your hand size is 1 more for the rest of the game. Escape. Each player's hand size is 1 less for the rest of the game. Yeah, I don't want to let him escape. Oh, and then we have a Black Dwarf in there. Yeah, so Celestials are interesting. Super powerful, but you can weaken them up by playing cards. Probably work well with dual cost cards or divided cards because you have more options. Alright, so as we've already seen, we have the Black Order of Thanos. So Thanos is not in the set, but he is in the original Guardians of the Galaxy set. So now if you combine these, so not only can you use them shards together, you can also have this as another group of guys to fight with Thanos. Because they weren't really I don't even know if they were around during the original one. Or they weren't anywhere near popular. But now, especially because of the movies, they're everywhere. So we get Black Dwarf, Ambush, Danger Sense 2, helping all the Black Order villains and the Mastermind. Play a Master Strike revealed this way. Oh boy. You gotta fight him, you gotta KO one of your heroes. We have Corvus Glaive, who you can actually play as, with the Secret Wars set. Ambush, Danger Sense 3, helping all the Black Order villains and Mastermind. Corvus Glaive captures a bystander revealed this way. I'm trying to think of what his ability was. Was it about... I think his cards had to do with KOing bystanders, so it kind of makes sense. We have Super Giant. Ambush, Danger Sense 1, helping all them. Fight, you may KO a card from your discard pile. Ebony Maw. Choose a villain, Master Strike, or Steam Push, then Danger Sense 3, helping all Black Order villains, Masterminds. Put all the cards that reveal this type up you choose. Oh boy. That could suck. Yeah. And then we have Proxima Midnight, who you can also play as in this game. Danger Sense 2. Play a Steam Push revealed. Each player reveals an instant hero or gains a wound. So there's your Black Order. You can combine them with Thanos and his Infinity Stones and make and play a bunch of characters. You can try Avengers and Guardian characters. You can try and recreate the movie. Alright. Next, we're going to start with the Mastermind this time. We have the Grandmaster, who was, why can't I think of his name? The guy from Jurassic Park, from Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Alright, it's completely blanking on me for whatever reason. It'll come to me. So he leads the Elders of the Universe. So you have Master Strike. Reveal the top card of the hero deck. Then put it back. Contestant champions for that card's colors. Each player that loses gains a wound. If Grandmaster wins, he gains a shard. So he plays Contestant champions with you, but he stacks the deck in his favor. So you flip over the top card of the hero deck. If it's tech, let's say, then all the other players have to reveal cards. Trying to figure out the best tech card they can get. But the thing is, they already know that he's going to now turn around and reveal the top 2 cards of the deck. One's going to be that tech card he just puts. You automatically get double whatever the card he revealed. But then potentially could get more if the other card is more powerful. But he's always going to get at least a double bonus. What is his epic version? So now, Evil Edge +2 to its final total for every contested champion caused by any card, including the Ronin ones. Reveal the top card, then put it back. Each player that loses gains a wound. If Grandmaster wins, he gains 2 shards. So he's 11. And there he's 10. But he also gains 2 shards. And he gains +2 to his numbers. So that can make him really hard. Deal with Death. Contest of Champions. Covert. With Evil selecting the 4 cards from the hero deck. Each other player that loses must KO a non-gray hero from their discard pile. If you win, you may gain a non-gray hero from the KO pile. If Grandmaster, he gains a shard. Galactic Marathon, Contest of Champion Instinct. Selecting 4 cards. Each other player that loses must discard down to 4 cards. If you win, draw 2 cards. If he wins, he gains 2 shards. Interesting effects. So, contest, cheat against Thanos. That's not a smart idea. Evil, ranged, 4 cards. Each other player that loses must KO half of the Bystanders from their victory pile. If you win, rescue 3 Bystanders. If Grandmaster wins, gain 3. So it's interesting that it's sort of like the Corvus Glaive, is that when you play as Thanos, you can play as him in the, from the Secret War set, he has lots of stuff where he gains bonuses from having Bystanders and KOing Bystanders. So this kind of messes up if you're playing as Thanos, which is a neat idea. And then match Offenders versus Defenders. Strength. Evil, selecting from 4 cards. Each other player that loses must gain a 0-cost card from the KO pile. If you win, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. KO any number of them, put the rest back in your. He gains 4 shards. Alright, so now we're going to look at all of the Elders. Well, at least... There we go, refocus that. At least all the Elders in this set. So we have the Traitor. Not the Traitor, the Traitor. Contest of Champions tech. Each player that loses must reveal their hand and trade a non-gray card from their hand with a card in the HQ that costs the same or less. Evil wins. The trader must gain a shard for each trade that occurred. So there's no benefit for winning this, but if you lose, you can trade stuff. Interesting. I mean, that could be a good thing too, but problem is if he wins, he also gains a bunch of points. So we have the Runner. Contest of Champions. We have Instinct. Each player that loses must discard a card. If Evil wins, the Ryder gains a shard for each card discarded this way. He pushes forward 2 extra spaces. Oh boy. He charges. Don't want to let him win. We have the Collector, we all know from the Guardians of the Galaxy 1, Benicio del Toro. Contest of Champions Covert. Each player that loses gives the Collector one of these things he doesn't have yet. A shard, a Bystander from their victory pile, a Strength Hero, Instinct Hero, Covert Hero, Tech Hero, or Ranged Hero from their hand or discard pile. Then, a player of your choice gains one of the captured heroes, put the rest on the bottom of the hero deck. That's actually kind of interesting. You just steal one of the things. Champion of the Universe. Contest Strength. Each player that loses must give this villain one of their shards or gain a wound. Fight, KO one of your heroes. Pretty straightforward. There are our Guardians. Not Guardians. Our Champions. Elders. Elders of the Universe. With Contest of Champions. Alright, and then finally, we're going to do this again. We're going to do the Mastermind first. We have the Beyonder. Cosmic Threat. For Cosmic Threat for cards that cost 5 or more. So you have to play anything that costs 5 or more to reduce his attack by 2. That is definitely a cool way to do Cosmic Threat. So he runs from beyond. Each player reveals a card that costs 5 or more, or gains a wound. Then put this strike under the HQ space. It doesn't already have a strike. Pulling that space into a pocket dimension. To recruit a card from a pocket dimension, you must also pay 1 attack for each pocket dimension in play. Interesting. That's cool. If you don't know who the Beyonder is, basically he's a cosmic being that can do anything he wants. The big thing he does, especially this look kind of from him, this is from the original Secret Wars, where he brought a bunch of different planets and masses together, brought a bunch of superheroes, bunch of supervillains, told them to fight, said, hey, whichever side wins, I'll grant you your wish. So of course the villains are all like gung-ho, like, we're gonna kill you and get our wish. And all the heroes are like, there must be some way to solve this. But then they eventually broke off because there was Avengers and Fantastic Four. But then there's also X-Men characters, and Magneto was on the good guy's side. So eventually the mutants went their own way. And then they all kind of came back together, and some Doctor Doom ended up stealing his power for a while, or tried to. And then Galactus was on the bad side, but he's kind of like whatever and just did his own thing. It was really neat. You had some different Avengers. You had a Hulk that was smart. It was losing his intelligence. You had James Rhodes as Rhodey as Iron Man. So you had a black Iron Man in there. Spider-Man got his original symbiote black costume, the Venom symbiote from this comic book series. Added a lot of stuff. She-Hulk became a Fantastic Four member. Ben Grimm stayed in space. A lot of stuff changed during this. It was actually really cool. New villains like Titania came from this. Julia Carpenter Spider-Woman was in this. And then in the newer Secret Wars, where Doctor Doom is the Emperor Doom, Lord God Emperor Doom, that was actually, he took the power of the Beyonder finally. It was either him or Stephen Strange that were going to do it, and he took it with the help of Molecule Man, who was also a big part of the original. So there's lots of play back and forth between the two. Yeah, and that's how he was able to like create everything. So here's the epic. He jumps from 21 to 24. His Cosmic Threat is now 6. Each player that can't reveals or gains a wound, then puts a strike under HQ space, and it still only costs 1. So I think just the difference was that they're more expensive. Alright, let's see what else he can do. We're getting a long video here. Play things of a petulant god. Fight. Each other player reveals their hand and tails a card from their hand or discard pile with the same cost, same name as any card in a pocket dimension. Okay. Could be good, could be bad. Dimensional collapse. Destroy an HQ space that's in a pocket dimension. That space doesn't refill. To mark this, turn the hero that are face down. Pocket dimension card stays in play. Oh boy. Okay, Galactus is everybody. Create the Secret Wars. Choose a team. Shield, Avengers, X-Men, Guardians of the Galaxy, etc. Contest the champions for that team icon, with Evil selecting 4 cards from the hero deck. Then each player that loses gains a wound. If you win, the player of your choice gains a hero from a pocket dimension. See, I like this. He's already changed how Cosmic Threat works. You know, he's changing how Contestant Champion works with team icons. Pull Earthlings into the Beyond. Rescue 4 Bystanders and put this card above the sewer. pulling it into a pocket dimension. To fight a villain there, you must also pay 1 for each pocket dimension in play. Oh, so this card creates a 5th pocket dimension. So you could have, oh boy, you could have an extra pocket dimension out. Here are his villains. They mark alternate Earths to be culled for the multiverse, the map makers. This had to do with the, I'm not super familiar with these guys, but I'm pretty sure that had to do with the, all the multiverses getting destroyed, which has led to the, 2016, I think it was, the more current version of the Secret Wars, with the Battle World. There's those guys. We get the Shaper of the World. So lots of these guys are all, versions of the Cosmic Cube, kind of, something like that. I try to kind of read up on a little bit of them. So we have Cosmic Threat Range. Create a new reality space that stays above the Shaper of the Worlds. It always contains a hero like an HQ space. Players can recruit from it. Fight. Choose a player to gain that hero. Escape. After the normal escape KO, destroy a new reality space and destroy an HQ space. KO those heroes. It doesn't refill. Oh boy, so he can also destroy a space. So you can potentially now destroy 3 spaces in the city. Cubic. Cosmic Threat. Instinct. Ambush. Each player must reveal 2 cards with the same non-zero cost or gain a wound. Reveal the top card of your deck. If it costs 0, KO it. There's like a Cosmic Cube in his chest. And we have Cosmos. Cosmic Threat. Take another turn after this one. Don't play a card from the villain deck at the start of the next turn. For the rest of the game, players take turns in the opposite order around the table. Well, that's just annoying. Alright, so that's the Beyonder. Interesting stuff, little pocket dimensions and things. Alright, now we have our schemes. The Annihilation Conquest. 11 twists, add an extra hero. Put this twist next to the scheme as a Phalanx Conquest. The highest cost hero from the HQ enters the city as a Phalanx infected villain. Each Phalanx infected villain has attack equal to its cost, +1 for each 2 Phalanx conquests. If you fight one, choose a player to gain it as a hero. I like that. I like that if you beat them, you get to choose who gets it. That's actually kind of helpful. When there are 6 Phalanx infected in the city or the escape pile, or the deck runs out. So it's just 6 total, so like they can even overrun the, not even have to be overrunning the city, like 1 or 2 escape, and then you just get a couple more in the city. Destroy the Nova Core. 9 twists. Exactly 1 hero must be a Nova hero, which currently there are only 2. There is either this Nova from the Avengers, Richard Ryder, or from the Champion set, Sam Alexander Nova. There's only 2 current Novas. Does not mean there might not be more. 1 player, you have 5 heroes. Each player starting deck adds 2 wounds, 1 shield officer, and a Nova card that costs 2. So I kind of want to go back and see if the Sam Alexander ones have any 2 cost cards. Special, all shield officers and Nova heroes count as Nova Centurions. Twist. Alright, 1 through 5. Each player must reveal a hand and discard a Nova Centurion. Each player that discards a card this way may gain a shard. Each player that didn't discard must tail a card from the shield officer stack. 5 or 69. Each player must tail a Sylvan Centurion from the shield officer stack or from their hand when there are 5 KO'd per player. Interesting. So now I just want to see what Nova. So we have, this should be a 2 cost one. It says you start with a Nova card that costs 2. So you could start this one, so an additional draw. 3 and 6 cost. So I'd have to go back and see if the other Nova has one. Otherwise, that's the only one anyone can start with. Alright, Contest of Champions. 11 twists, add an extra hero, put 11 random cards from the hero deck face up in the contest row. So you have 14 cards, you're only putting 11 in there. Which would leave 3 cards. KO the leftmost card from the contest row. Then contest the champions for that card's colors. Each player that loses discards a card. If the Mastermind wins, put a wound next to the scheme as an evil triumphs. 5-8, same effect, but the contest evil selects 4 cards. 9 to 11, same, but they get 6, and they win if there's 11. Oh, okay, I misread this. You add an extra hero, then you just put 11 cards in there. So it's essentially saying you're adding 14 cards to the deck, but then you're taking out 11. I gotcha. I misread. I thought you were taking it from that character. And then turn the soul of Adam Warlock. 14 twists, these 3 wounds to represent extra schemes. Interesting. Put Adam Warlock, 14 Adam Warlock hero cards in a face-up stack, ordered from lowest cost on top to the highest on the bottom. Twist, set aside the top card of Adam Warlock stack. This turn you may purify it by spending attack equal to double its cost. If you do, choose a player to gain that card. Then you rescue a bystander, and you may KO one of your heroes. If you don't do this by the end of the turn, put that Adam Warlock into a soul corruption stack next to the scheme. When they're 8, they win. Okay, that's cool. Cool, different. Alright, then the last thing we have to go through here would be the cool new Bystanders. I always like some extra Bystanders. So Pizza Delivery Guy, so there's Captain Marvel with Goose. Except that's not his name in the comic books. I forget what it is in the comic books. It's something else. It's Goose. Oops, it's Goose in the movie. So I think they're trying to play on the Top Gun reference to like 80 movies. But it's something else in the comic books. When you rescue this bystander, choose one. Draw a card now, or draw 3 extra cards and you draw a new hand. That's cool. I like that. Legendary Game Designer. When you rescue this bystander, gain a shard. And Board Gamer. Hiding under the table. So here we have Gamora fighting Proxima Midnight instead of Nebula. Interesting. When you rescue this bystander, each player with the most victory points draws a card. It's okay. I like it, but actually I love these two. Like, this is one of the things where I'd love to be able to buy more bystanders, because I like to have multiples of them. So that's actually pretty cool. Alright, so one last quick thing before we head out is I wanted to look up the other Nova, because if you did the Nova Corp scheme, you get Steam. Yeah, Steam. You add this one. So this is the other one you could potentially add to your hand, because it's a 2 cost. So it's Strength card, Versatile 1, so you get +1 attack or +1 defense, but if you play a champion card, you rescue a bystander. So I would say between the 2 of these, I have no idea where in this giant stack of cards that Nova went. There it is. I saw him. I know I did. Yeah, so if I was going to have to choose one of these to add to my hand as a starting thing, it's a little back and forth, because I guess here I'm always, Sam Alexander one, the strength one, I'm always going to have 1 attack or 1 defense. The Richard Ryder version, I can get 1 attack or 1 defense by playing other tech card. So I could potentially play this and not gain an attack or defense. The other hand, I'm always going to draw a card. So in my starting hands, I'm always going to get an attack or defense either way out of this card. But I could potentially draw something even better later on and gain a higher bonus, and also get the 1 and 2. This one, unless I'm playing other champions cards, I'm probably never going to get anything more than a 1 or 1 out of it. I mean, if I play multiples of him, I might, but you also have to remember that if you stick this Nova into your deck, you play with him, every player is going to get one of these cards. It's going to lessen how many of these you're going to have. Then his other cards, though, aren't too bad either, because you have ranged. His versatile 2 is trading crowds, which means you can discard a bystander to gain it, but again, if you just combined it with these cards, like you wanted to play as Ryder as a second character and you want to use this as an extra Nova in there, I don't know how often you're going to get bystanders for cheering crowd. Here we have a versatile 3 with range. That's definitely helpful. And where's his ultimate? His ultimate is freaking crazy. So, growing Nova Force, size changing. So it costs 9, but for each if you play a ranged or a strength card, you get to drop it by 2. So if you play both, you get to drop it by 4. Each other card you play this turn with a star, icon, you get a star. Each other one you get a text. So all his are dual. So every time you play one of his cards, you gain an extra thing for each one. So that works really. That's really cool there. I just want to see how well the 2 Novas combine then. So Cosmic Threat, it would work decent because he's about half and half strength, half range. So that would work well, but he wouldn't. Sam Alexander's Champion Nova wouldn't gain any bonus from that. He would from that one. He would only gain stars from this one. But you could maybe hit that one off a little bit more often. And then his other one's a tech. And the other Nova doesn't have tech. So they don't really work super well together. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to look at that. And I should actually do more videos like that, and just compare some of these heroes, like Captain Marvel and Captain Marvel and Cyclops and Phoenix Force Cyclops and stuff like that. Anywho, that is a super long video for Marvel Legendary Into the Cosmos, the newest set. They were thinking about adding Magus as a Guardian character, as the 10th hero, but they realized, one is they would have had too many cards, so they had to cut one of the characters, and secondly, she didn't fit into this set because she didn't make sense to have, like she fit in with Guardians or Avengers, probably Guardians more than Avengers, but she didn't make sense for Danger Sense, maybe Danger Sense, but she didn't make sense for Shards and that, so they just couldn't get her to work properly, so they did cut her for whatever reason. Alright, that's what we got. See you guys later. Bye.